Imagine a coin so rare that only 15 are known to exist. A coin struck in secret by the U.S. Mint 30 years after its mint date to be gifted to kings and sultans. This isn't fiction, it's the story of the coin that holds the record for the most valuable dollar ever sold. Shiny, golden, and surprisingly valuable, that's the best way to introduce our very first coin of today's video. The James Madison $1 coin may look ordinary at first glance, but it carries with it the story of one of America's greatest founding fathers, and in the world of collectors, it has proven to be far more than just a dollar. James Madison, often called the father of the Constitution, was the brilliant mind behind much of the framework that still guides America today. Born in 1751, he shaped the nation's destiny not only by drafting the Constitution and Bill of Rights but also by serving as the fourth President of the United States from 1809 to 1817. A man of intellect and vision, Madison's influence can still be felt in the very principles of freedom and democracy that America stands on. It was only fitting that the U.S. Mint chose to honor him in 2007 as part of the presidential $1 coin program, a series designed to celebrate each president and their contribution to the nation's story. This program was ambitious. Each coin was more than currency, it was a piece of history, a reminder of the leaders who shaped the nation. Collectors looked forward to every new release, and the Madison dollar stood out not just for its striking design but for the story it carried. On the obverse of this coin, Madison's portrait stands out, calm, thoughtful, yet commanding. Encircling his likeness are the inscriptions, James Madison, 4th President, and the years 1809 to 1817. It's a portrait that does more than display a face, it tells a legacy. On the reverse side, the timeless Statue of Liberty raises her torch high, shining as a symbol of enlightenment and freedom, with the words, United States of America, and $1 boldly surrounding her. Together, these designs turn an everyday coin into a miniature canvas of American ideals. One of the most eye-catching features is its golden tone. While not actual gold, the manganese brass alloy gives it a warm, glowing look that instantly stands apart from nickels, quarters, or dimes. It's a coin you can't miss in your hand. Yet, despite this striking appearance, the presidential dollar series never fully caught on with the public. Millions of them ended up stacked away in bank vaults, untouched, while others trickled into circulation. But in collectors' hands, they began to take on a new life, a value far beyond face. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the Madison dollar lies in its edge lettering. Unlike traditional coins, the inscriptions, In God We Trust, E Pluribus Unum, the year, and mint mark were engraved around the edge. It was a bold and unusual design choice, one that gave the coin a modern twist while still honoring tradition. But this innovation also led to mistakes that became treasures. Some coins left the mint without inscriptions at all, soon nicknamed the infamous, godless dollars. Others carried doubled or misaligned lettering, turning everyday coins into exciting error pieces highly sought after by collectors. Beyond errors, condition plays a powerful role. Coins graded MS 67 or higher are nearly flawless, showcasing sharp detail and brilliant surfaces that set them apart. Proof versions, struck with mirror-like backgrounds and frosted details, were made especially for collectors and carry a special appeal. For true enthusiasts, finding one of these pristine examples is like striking gold. Every Madison dollar has a story. Maybe it was tucked away in a roll straight from the bank, where it stayed untouched for years. Maybe it spent time in circulation, exchanged through countless hands before ending up in a collector's album. Or perhaps it came off the press with a rare flaw, destined to become a prized highlight in an auction. That unpredictability is what makes the hobby so thrilling, you never really know what you'll uncover until you look closely. Picture this, you're going through your change and spot one of these golden coins. To most people, it's just another dollar, maybe even an inconvenience. But to someone with a sharp eye, it could be a hidden gem worth far more. That's the magic of numismatics, the stories and surprises hidden in the smallest places. And Madison's coin reminds us of more than just money. It reflects a time when the U.S. Mint experimented with design and innovation, trying to bring history into the everyday lives of Americans. While the program may not have succeeded in daily circulation, it left behind treasures that collectors will cherish for generations. Over time, auction houses have witnessed impressive sales of the James Madison dollar. While many examples sell modestly, the rarest errors and the most flawless graded pieces have stunned even seasoned collectors. One extraordinary specimen combined near-perfect preservation with rarity, and when it crossed the auction block, it sold for a staggering $56,436. From a coin minted in 2007 to honor one of America's greatest leaders, to a treasure commanding tens of thousands of dollars, the James Madison dollar is proof that history and value can come wrapped in the smallest of packages. It is more than just metal, it's memory, artistry, and fortune blended together. The next time you glance at a dollar coin, take a moment to look closer. You may just be holding a story of freedom, a piece of art, and perhaps even a hidden fortune in your hand. Now let's move on to a coin that carries the face of a man whose life was steeped in diplomacy, leadership, and a vision for America's future, the John Quincy Adams $1 coin. At first glance, it might seem like just another golden dollar, but behind its design lies the story of a president who lived at the very crossroads of American history. Minted in 2008 as part of the presidential $1 coin program, this piece honors the sixth President of the United States, John Quincy Adams. The obverse presents his portrait, serious and intellectual, with the inscriptions, John Quincy Adams, 6th President, and 1825 to 1829. His expression is one of wisdom and resolve, perfectly reflecting a man who carried the heavy burden of leading a young nation still defining itself on the world stage. On the reverse, the ever-powerful Statue of Liberty stretches her torch skyward, embodying the very freedoms that Adams himself worked to protect. Unlike the silver-gray coins we're used to, this one glows with a golden finish thanks to its manganese brass alloy, instantly setting it apart in any collection. But its appeal isn't just about looks. The presidential series featured something rare for American coinage, edge lettering. On the rim of the John Quincy Adams dollar, you'll find inscriptions like, In God We Trust, E Pluribus Unum, the mint mark, and the year of issue. This detail created plenty of collector excitement, especially when things didn't go as planned. Some coins slipped through the minting process without lettering, others carried doubled or shifted inscriptions, and these errors transformed what could have been a simple dollar into a coveted rarity. In fact, spotting one of these error coins in your change would be like striking gold in disguise. Beyond errors, condition is everything. A circulated coin, worn down from years of use, might only be worth face value. But high-grade examples, coins shining with full luster, crisp details, and flawless surfaces, become treasures in their own right. Proof versions, struck with extra care for collectors, gleam with mirror-like brilliance, turning an already historic coin into something truly dazzling. To a dedicated numismatist, holding a proof John Quincy Adams dollar is like holding a jewel of the presidential series. And of course, there's the man himself. John Quincy Adams was more than a president, he was a lifelong servant of the Republic. Son of the second president, John Adams, he grew up immersed in the spirit of the American Revolution. By his teenage years, he was already traveling across Europe on diplomatic missions, helping to forge the alliances that would secure America's independence. As president, he championed bold ideas like a national university, infrastructure improvements, and scientific advancement, visions ahead of his time. And perhaps most inspiring, even after leaving the White House, he returned to public service in Congress, where he became a powerful voice against slavery. His passion for justice and liberty never dimmed, making his legacy one of enduring principle. Holding his coin, then, is more than holding a piece of metal, it's holding the memory of a man who never stopped fighting for the country he believed in. That's what makes the John Quincy Adams dollar more than just pocket change, it's a tangible connection to history. Collectors know this, and that's why the John Quincy Adams dollar has become a sought-after treasure. For some, it's the historical weight of the man it honors. For others, it's the thrill of finding a rare error or a near-perfect specimen preserved since the day it left the mint. In auctions and private sales, examples with flawless surfaces or rare mistakes have stunned even the most seasoned collectors. And one such coin did just that. Preserved with exceptional care and carrying rarity that set it apart, this John Quincy Adams dollar captured intense bidding interest. When the gavel finally fell, it left collectors in awe, selling for an astonishing $51,254. From a simple golden dollar minted in 2008 to a record-breaking treasure that commanded tens of thousands, the John Quincy Adams dollar proves that even modern designs can hide immense value. It tells us that history is never far away, it can sit quietly in your pocket, waiting for someone to notice. So, the John Quincy Adams dollar stands as more than a collector's prize. It's a reminder that the past still speaks to us through coins, through designs, through the faces of leaders who helped shape America's destiny. Every detail on this coin, from the dignified portrait of Adams to the bold Statue of Liberty on the reverse, carries with it more than artistry. It carries a story, of diplomacy, of perseverance, and of a man who devoted his entire life to serving his country. Coins like these are small, but they become windows into history, linking us to moments and people that shaped the nation. So next time you come across one of these golden dollars, take a closer look. You might not just be holding a coin, you might be holding a piece of American history, a hidden fortune, and a story that deserves to be remembered. Up next, our third treasure of today's journey leads us to a coin that carries the face of a leader who stood at the crossroads of American history, the Zachary Taylor $1 coin. At first glance, it may look like any other golden dollar that once passed through everyday hands at vending machines, subway kiosks, or corner stores. But when we stop and let the story unfold, this coin reveals a far greater depth than meets the eye. It is not just a token of commerce, it is a small monument to leadership, service, and a fleeting moment in America's presidential past. Zachary Taylor, the 12th President of the United States, was more than just another name in the long line of leaders. Known as Old Rough and Ready, he was a soldier first and foremost, a man hardened by decades of military campaigns, rising to fame during the Mexican-American War. His grit, straightforward nature, and reputation for bravery earned him national admiration long before he ever set foot in the White House. And though his presidency was cut tragically short after only 16 months in office, his mark on the nation was lasting enough that the U.S. Mint enshrined his image in the 2009 presidential $1 coin program. Turn the coin over in your hand, and the design tells its story with quiet dignity. On the obverse, Taylor's face looks out with a determined expression, framed by the inscriptions, Zachary Taylor, 12th President, and the years of his service, 1849 to 1850. Flip to the reverse, and Lady Liberty takes center stage, torch held high as a beacon of freedom, with the proud lettering, United States of America, and the bold denomination, $1. The golden glow of its manganese brass alloy makes it stand apart from the coins most of us are used to seeing, as though it was always meant to be noticed. But it is not just the artistry of this coin that captures collectors. The presidential $1 coins carried a special innovation that still fascinates numismatists today, edge lettering. Along the rim you'll find phrases like, "In God We Trust," "E Pluribus Unum," the mint mark, and the year of issue. And it is precisely here, along that narrow band of metal, where some of the greatest surprises emerge. A missing inscription, a double strike, or an edge out of alignment, each tiny flaw instantly transforms an otherwise common coin into a rarity that collectors will chase for years. Condition is equally critical. A Zachary Taylor dollar that's been worn by countless exchanges may never rise above its face value, but preserved in pristine condition, sharp, lustrous, and untouched by time, it becomes something else entirely. Proof strikes, with their mirror-like finish and razor-sharp detail, hold an allure that few can resist. They are not just coins, they are works of art in miniature, pressed into metal with precision and pride. Imagine the thrill of discovery, perhaps your coin roll hunting and suddenly, there it is, a Zachary Taylor dollar that gleams with perfection, as though it slipped through history unnoticed until it reached your hands. Or picture uncovering a rare edge error, that subtle difference that turns an everyday find into a coveted prize. That moment, when ordinary becomes extraordinary, is the very heartbeat of numismatics. The Zachary Taylor dollar is more than money. It is a bridge between past and present, carrying the story of a president whose service as a soldier and leader left a lasting imprint. To hold one is to touch history, to feel connected to an era of great challenges and great change. Collectors often speak of this coin with a sense of reverence, because it embodies more than wealth, it represents discovery, patience, and the excitement of the unexpected. Every time one of these coins surfaces in remarkable condition, it renews the thrill of the hunt. It proves that the world of numismatics is alive with possibilities, where chance finds can rival museum pieces. Some families pass these dollars down through generations, while others tuck them away as heirlooms, waiting for the right moment to shine. Even casual collectors find themselves fascinated by its story, because it's a coin that seems to hold more meaning the longer you study it. And for a lucky few, this coin has proven to be worth far more than its modest face value. One remarkable example, preserved in nearly flawless condition and bearing the kind of rarity that makes collectors' hearts race, once appeared at auction. The bidding was fierce, the energy electric, as numismatists recognized the treasure before them. When the gavel finally fell, that small golden dollar had sold for an extraordinary $48,000. Think about that for a moment, a single coin, born from brass, design, and history, commanding a price that most people could never imagine from something they might overlook as pocket change. Moments like this remind us that hidden treasures often rest in plain sight, waiting for someone with curiosity and passion to uncover them. The Zachary Taylor dollar proves that every coin has a story, and sometimes, that story carries a value far greater than we expect. So the next time you find yourself holding an ordinary coin, pause for just a moment. Look a little closer. Because, as the Zachary Taylor dollar teaches us, what appears ordinary may in fact be priceless, a fortune wrapped in history, waiting quietly for its discovery. The next coin takes us deeper into the presidential $1 series, where unexpected errors transformed ordinary pieces into rare treasures. Among them lies the 2010 Millard Fillmore dollar, a coin that at first seemed like just another entry in the U.S. Mint's ambitious program, but one that would soon reveal a surprising mistake. Millard Fillmore, the 13th president, is not the most remembered figure in American history. His time in office came after the sudden death of President Zachary Taylor in 1850, and his controversial support for the Compromise of 1850 left a complicated legacy. Yet in 2010, his image was struck on a golden-colored dollar coin as part of the series meant to honor every president. To most, it was simply a continuation of the set. But inside the minting presses, something went wrong. The presidential dollars had one unusual feature: their inscriptions, the date, mint mark, and mottos like E pluribus unum and In God We Trust, weren't on the front or back, but on the edge. It was a bold design choice, but one that opened the door for error. If the coin missed the edge lettering step or the machine misaligned, the results could be startling. And that's exactly what happened with the Millard Fillmore $1. Imagine a collector opening a fresh roll of coins straight from the bank. They spill into the light, bright and untouched, Fillmore's portrait staring back. At first glance, everything looks normal. But when one coin is turned on its side, the edge is smooth, completely blank. No date. No motto. No mint mark. Just a flawless, golden rim. The heart skips. Could it be real? Was this simply a worn edge? But no, these were new coins, fresh from circulation. This was no accident of handling. This was a true mint error. The discovery sparked equal parts thrill and disbelief. To hold a coin that slipped past the strict controls of the U.S. Mint is like finding lightning captured in metal. The collector knew instantly, this wasn't just another presidential dollar. This was something different, something rare. Word began to spread among collectors. Reports trickled in, others had found Fillmore dollars with missing edge lettering. Some even uncovered stranger variations, doubled inscriptions where the words In God We Trust overlapped like an echo, or partial dates that seemed cut off mid-strike. Each new example added fuel to the fire. What began as curiosity quickly grew into a hunt. At first, the market didn't quite know what to make of it. The earliest sales were modest, $10, maybe $20 for a blank edge Fillmore. But as awareness spread and supply proved thin, the values began to climb. Suddenly, the Fillmore Error dollar wasn't just a quirk, it was a must-have for serious collectors of the presidential $1 series. What made this error so special was its subtlety. Unlike dramatic misstrikes or off-center designs that screamed their uniqueness, the Fillmore Error required a keen eye. You had to turn it, inspect it carefully, notice the absence of something expected. That subtle thrill, spotting what wasn't there, made ownership all the more satisfying. As years passed, the value only increased. High-grade examples, preserved in pristine condition, began selling for hundreds of dollars at auction. Some of the most striking double-edged variations even reached into the thousands. A coin that most people dismissed as ordinary had transformed into a collector's prize, its value evolving with each new discovery and sale. But here's the twist: while many error coins enjoy a flash of popularity before fading, the Fillmore dollar's reputation only grew stronger over time. Other errors from the presidential $1 program, like the famous missing lettering on George Washington's coin, grabbed headlines early. Yet the Fillmore coin, quieter and less publicized, became a sleeper rarity. As the program ended and fresh finds dried up, demand surged. What was once overlooked now carried an air of prestige among collectors. Those who found one in the early days often described the moment vividly. The shock of turning the coin, the rush of realizing what they held, the immediate thought, this could be worth something. For many, it was the highlight of their collecting journey, a story to tell again and again. And for others still searching, the Fillmore Error remains a dream discovery, proof that even the most unassuming coin can hold extraordinary secrets. So the next time a Fillmore dollar passes through your hands, take a closer look. Its edge may tell a story, or perhaps hide one entirely. And if you happen to find that smooth, blank rim, you'll be holding more than just a coin, you'll be holding a piece of history born from imperfection, a mistake that turned into a treasure. Every coin has a tale to tell, but some tell it louder through their rarity, their errors, and the journey they take into collectors' hands. The Millard Fillmore $1 is one of those coins, a symbol of how even small imperfections can create greatness. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of rare treasures. If you enjoyed this story and want to discover more hidden gems in the world of coins, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this with fellow collectors. Until next time, happy collecting, and thanks for watching.